has over 18 years of experience working with Indigenous communities, offering facilitator and mentorship training. With the development of culturally sensitive and curriculum training, Elaine has opened the door to understanding the importance of working together to improve literacy between Indigenous and non-Indigenous cultures. Elaine has always understood the value of Indigenous cultures that we bring to Canadian society, and has developed curriculum and embraces these traditions and focuses on the sharing of information. Under her leadership, facilitators are trained to incorporate the knowledge of the elders who co-facilitate the groups and learn with the participants about how to share the traditions and culture within the community. With the literacy programs, families share, teach, and learn about different Indigenous cultures and traditions, empowering them to build relationships within and outside their communities. Please join me in welcoming the 2017 recipient for the Chief David Crowchild Memorial Award, Elaine Cairns. Please come up and receive your award.
Thanks to the committee for this prestigious award. As a non-Indigenous person, I am deeply humbled and honored to win this award that reaffirms for me the important work myself and Further Education Society have been doing in Indigenous communities for nearly 20 years. I believe that improved learning leads to improved lives, and with passion and dedication, we can bring literacy and learning to everyone, making a difference one learner, one family, one organization, and one community at a time. There are so many people to thank. First, I would like to thank my elder, I call her my elder, Vinia Van Overdyke, for her guidance and leadership and always believing in what we were trying to do. I am honored that she would support my nomination for this award. She's a past award winner herself. I need to thank the hundreds of Indigenous people who helped me to learn about their communities and culture along the way, from Antland, BC, to Fort Chip, Fort Simpson, Fort Nelson. We have a lot of forts in Canada. La Ronge, Winnipeg, and North Bay, just to name a few of the places that I have been. A special thanks to Nigwakwe George, one of the world's leading experts on Indigenous literacy, who has supported my work from very early years and was always there to answer the questions that I had about Indigenous culture. Thanks to the great late Joan Cardinal Schubert and Laurie Villebrand for their support of Face at Work and for believing in what we were trying to do. As I said, so many people to thank. Thanks to my sneaky staff, led by Penny Lawrence, who all got together and nominated me behind my back. Who knew they could be so sneaky? Thanks, Penny, Shauna, Elizabeth, Lois, Vidya, Teal. See, it's all women. Also thanks to Pam Swimmer and ALCO staff, Cheryl and Sonia, who wrote letters of support. And my thanks to colleagues Sade, Sue, and Shar for their help with the Indigenous work. Also thanks to my very supportive board who bring their own passion to the organization and would sometimes say to themselves, she's gonna try to do what, where? Thank you for letting me do that. I believe that all of us deserve a chance at learning and to have an opportunity to have our children be successful. Literacy is something I'm passionate about and something that I have spent most of my life trying to assist people with and have others understand its importance. As I was reading about Chief David Crowchild, I read that he believed in compromise when both sides gained something. My work with Indigenous communities illustrates this nicely. When I came to this work, I did not know a lot about Indigenous culture, but Indigenous people asked me to help their communities and assured me that they would teach me everything I needed to know about their culture, and teach me they did. I am grateful for the opportunities I have had to build bridges between communities and culture, to build the ability of Indigenous communities to address the literacy and learning needs they see in their community. DACE's job is to develop the foundational learning and parenting curriculum, train grassroots community workers to deliver the curricula, and then to give the program and the training away to Indigenous workers, organizations, and learners to use as they think is best. Through that process, I learned a lot. I would like to now tell you the story of this bracelet I wear. I was in North Bay, Ontario, working with the Ontario Native Coalition, and we were working to integrate our Aboriginal literacy and parenting skills program into their Indigenous basic ed. And I wasn't quite sure how it was going. And we were at the end of the day, and they decided they were going to teach us beading. Well, I'm that person in art that has a really hard time getting a C, and I almost failed as a home ec because I couldn't do the apron. And there was an elder working on a bracelet beside me, and she was watching me struggle, and she looked at me and said, "Here, I've made this for you." And it's to remind you that the work you are doing is important, and if you ever feel like giving up, remember what you do is much needed in our communities. So I've kept this bracelet for many years now to remind me. And so I want to acknowledge that I've learned far more from Indigenous people than they have ever learned from me. I have learned the importance of patience, to listen, be resilient, to persevere, to share and support one another, and to always have a connection to your values, culture, and traditions. All of this illustrates quite nicely Crowchild's point. Together we have both gained a lot. Finally, I would like to thank my husband and best friend who couldn't be here today. He's a criminal lawyer working on a case in Kelowna, and apparently DNA evidence is really important in a murder trial, and so he couldn't miss that. So I thank him for always being supportive of my work, even when it didn't pay all that much and meant that I was away from home a great deal. Thanks to my daughter Liz and my son Dave, who put up with Mom being away and always believed in what I was trying to do. Liz, my daughter, continues the family legacy with her own work as a registered psychologist, seeing that the Indigenous families she works with get the services they deserve and advocating on their behalf when they don't. My son Dave said to me a few years ago, when I won a Lifetime Achievement Award for contributions to the field of literacy, that, Mom, you might as well stop now, because they're never going to give you 2 Lifetime Achievement Awards.